All right, so welcome back, everybody, to the Deep Dive. We've got a really fascinating one today.
Yeah, definitely.
We're diving into this book called Fly Like an Eagle in Retirement.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about this one.
Have you?
Yeah, definitely.
It's one that really kind of, I think, turns the whole concept of retirement on its head a little bit.
Yeah.
And really kind of reframes how we even think about it.
Yeah, I think a lot of us, when we think about retirement, we think about, slowing down
Right.
and maybe putting your feet up.
Exactly right.
But this book is like, hold on a second.
Yeah.
There's a whole other chapter here.
It's really framing it almost as a new beginning. Like you're not ending something.
Exactly.
You're actually beginning something entirely different.
Yeah. And actually, the book kind of opens with this idea that retirement is not an end. It's like a new beginning.
Right, yeah.
Full of all these amazing possibilities.
Yeah, and that's where I think that eagle analogy that they use is so interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I first saw the title, I was thinking, what's the connection here? Eagles and retirement. But they really do a good job of kind of weaving that analogy throughout the whole book.
It is a little strange at first,
Yeah.
But it actually, once you kind of get into it, it really makes sense because,
Yeah.
Eagles are powerful. They're free. They have incredible vision.
Right?
And these are all, qualities that we can tap into in this, next stage of life.
And that's something I love how they really hit on in the book is that you, the listener, heading into retirement, you've already earned your wings.
Exactly.
I've been through so much already.
You've put in the work.
You've navigated a career, probably raised a family.
Absolutely.
Dealt with all sorts of challenges, and really, in a way, have earned those eagle stripes.
Yeah, it's about recognizing that you've already, developed that resilience, the strength to soar.
Totally.
Like, think about those tough times you've been through. Maybe at work you had to make a really difficult decision, or, you supported a loved one through, a health crisis or something. Like, those are all your training grounds.
Exactly.
You've come out stronger.
Yeah, it's like boot camp for retirement.
Right, exactly.
So I love how they frame that, but it's really interesting because then they take it a step further.
Okay.
They start talking about this idea of expanding your vision
Yeah.
and how often we think of retirement as time to slow down, but they're saying, no,
Push it further.
expand it further.
Yeah, expand your horizons, set these grand visions for yourself, dream bigger than ever before.
Dream bigger than ever before, which is a really interesting concept, I think, in retirement, because
All right.
I think we often get in this mindset of, oh, well, now's the time to just kind of coast.
Right.
But what does dreaming big look like in retirement? Like, what are some examples of what they talk about in the book?
Well, they have all these amazing stories in there of, people who have really embraced this idea of like one person, they always loved baking. And so they finally had the time and the freedom to open up that bakery that they always wanted to. Another person decided, I've always wanted to travel the world. So they sold their house and they're, backpacking across Europe or something.
Wow, that's amazing.
So it really challenges you to think about, what are you passionate about?
Right.
What brings you joy? What did you always want to do but maybe never had the time for?
Yeah.
And now you finally have that space.
Right. And it's interesting because you mentioned freedom there. And I think that's really the key takeaway.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just about, relaxing on a beach, although that's certainly a component for some people. It's about this freedom that you suddenly have.
Exactly, yeah.
To define retirement on your own terms, to decide what it looks like for you.
And the book calls it being unstoppable.
I love that.
It's like you're no longer bound by schedules,
Right.
by the 9-to-5 grind.
Right.
What would make you feel empowered in this next chapter?
Yeah, that's a great question to ask yourself.
This is your chance to design a life that aligns with your values.
Absolutely. But with all this freedom,
Yeah.
I'm also thinking, for some people, it could feel a little overwhelming too.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Like, I've got all this freedom.
Yeah.
Now what do I do with it?
Right.
Does the book address that, sense of uncertainty at all?
It does, yeah. And that's where this idea of, soaring with confidence really comes in.
Okay.
The book reminds us that retirement isn't about fading away or, just disappearing.
Right.
It's about taking all the skills you've developed, all the experience you've gained, and channeling it into something new.
I love that.
Whether that's, starting a business or volunteering or, traveling or whatever it might be.
Right.
It's about continuing to learn and grow and challenge yourself.
So instead of seeing it as an ending, It's almost like you're rising to these new heights,
Exactly.
facing new challenges and continuing to evolve and grow.
Yeah, and that's really, I think, the most powerful message of this book is that, retirement is not a decline.
Right.
It's an opportunity for growth and reinvention.
Absolutely. And that's where I think Fly, like an eagle in retirement, really leaves you with a lot to think about.
It does, yeah.
Kind of at that question, like, what would your retirement look like if you could design it with absolutely no limits?
Yeah. What's your grand vision?
What is your grand vision?
What would your ideal retirement look like?
Yeah, that's a fantastic question for everyone to ask themselves, I think.
Definitely.
So to our listeners out there, we encourage you to think about that.
Tap into your inner eagle.
Yeah, tap into your inner eagle.
No?
What excites you? What are you passionate about? And remember, maybe your most exciting flight is still ahead of you.
Absolutely.
All right, that's it for today's deep dive. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
See you next time.
See ya.
Bye.